A new year, a new Audi. Yes, this is the all-new 2022 Q7 that's racing towards the Indian market. The Q7 for the longest time was the top-of-the-line Q series model from Audi till the Q8 replaced it. But in its latest form factor, the Q7 continues to hold a lot of potential and promise. You're watching HT Auto, I'm Shubhadeep, and on this rainy January Delhi winter morning, we're taking an in-depth look at the all-new Audi Q7. The new Q7 essentially retains the same design philosophy on the outside as the previous model, but there are several tweaks that give it a modern makeover. The front octagonal grille, for instance, is now wider and more prominent than before. Flanking the grille are matrix LED headlights with dynamic turn signals and DRLs, which, under grey Delhi winter sky during our test drive, stood out with dramatic effect. The SUV from the side continues to have a sloping rear roofline and large wheel arches, but now stands on 19-inch alloy wheels, which sport a new design. At the rear, the taillight gets a fresh design update, and now there is a chrome line that finds a prominent stretch across the width of the vehicle. So when you step inside the new Q7, there are certain things that are absolutely new, and yet there are certain things, thankfully, that are familiar. So for instance, the dual screen setup is something that we've seen on some higher end cars from the Audi brand. The lower screen is used to adjust the climate control settings. There are no physical knobs here. The upper screen is for the usual, the vehicle stats, controlling the media, navigation and the likes. Now the Audi virtual cockpit is once again top-notch. The display on the driver's screen is fantastic, and what is great as well is that the Q7 continues to sit really high on those wheels, and that means that you have a nice, really commanding view of the road ahead. The overall setup of the Q7 is something that's familiar, at least would be familiar to those who've already been inside the Q7. So you have a nice piano black finish all around the dash. The dashboard continues to be oriented vertically, and the steering is nicely weighted, but we'll get to that when we talk about how this car is on the move as well. But the positives are that there are also a whole lot of storage spaces that continues to be for the driver and the front passenger. So you get some cup holders here. In the center console, there is more storage space here. You also get a wireless charging pad, so if you have a phone that can be charged wirelessly, you can place it right here. There are storage spaces on the side doors as well, and obviously the front two seats can be adjusted electronically and have memory function as well. The Q7 now comes with even better safety features. One particular feature that I really liked was the camera all around this car, so even when you're reversing the car, you will get feed from the front camera as well. Now, for a car that is obviously proportionally as big as the Q7, that can be quite a nice addition. Now, the middle row of the Q7 has always been my favorite because there's one buzzword here: space. The new Q7 builds on it, so there is a whole lot of knee room. There is a lot of space for my feet. The leg space is great too. The under thigh support is decent. Shoulder room and the headroom is pretty good too. So 3 people sitting next to each other, even on long journeys, it shouldn't be a problem. Now there is a floor hump, but it is quite wide, so the person sitting in the middle would be able to place his or her feet comfortably here. Apart from that, the windows are large. There is a ginormous sunroof, a panoramic sunroof above, so the sense of airiness inside the Q7, which by the way is a car that's primarily chauffeur driven, is fantastic. What's especially striking about the new Q7 in the middle seat is this new screen here. There are 2 screens on the back of the front seats, and this one, although visually to me it appears a little old school the way it is, it seems like it's a small television screen, slim television screen, but there is a whole new interface that's inside this. It's powered by Android, so it's a familiar sort of OS for people who have Android phones. You can download a bunch of apps. You get apps like YouTube, Maps, Gmail, Chrome, Google Music, Google Movies, and a whole lot more. You can even download more from the Play Store that you have. Now there are a few preloaded videos that come on the screen, but you can also put in your own music videos, movies and the likes on the screen itself. The screen has speakers of its own, or you can connect it to the B&O music system that's all around the car. The touch is really responsive. The screen has just a little bit of reflection, but nothing to sort of distract you from the movie or the video that you may be watching. Then of course there is the option of gaming while on the move as well. So you can download games from the Play Store. One is already there inside the system as I can see it. So overall there is a whole lot of fun and entertainment in store for kids and adults when on long journeys. Now in the list of the regular additions, there is a rear AC vent. You can control it through touch using the panel. There is a 12-volt charging socket and 2 Type-C USB ports. There are a whole lot of hooks for your coat. There is light as well on the middle seat. The windows come with their own dedicated shades, so you can just pull it up or down. And there are dedicated AC vents on this side as well. So there are bits and pieces that are new, but overall and thankfully there is much positive familiarity in the cabin of the Q7. The Q7 is obviously a luxury SUV and so still isn't quite sporty. But what you do get instead is a smooth powertrain with the petrol unit having a familiar refinement about it. In low and mid-speed range, the Q7 is a great ambler for not just those at the front, but passengers at the back as well. But when it is time to get a move on, the transmission clicks the numbers well, to and beyond triple digits as well. Of course, there is the sport mode apart from the other drive modes for a bit more thump. The Quattro all-wheel drive and the adaptive air suspension continues to work wonders on almost every terrain. But the diesel engine in the predecessor still had more pulling might, and that's obvious, but what the latest Q7 offers is a great clampdown on NVH levels, and the overall refinement is at par with what most rivals have on offer. The Q7 still isn't the most eager going into sharp turns, but it still also isn't exactly the car meant for aggressive antics. A hint of body roll is all you'd find, especially in the back seats, if the Q7 is pushed, but it is too minor a point if the car is kept planted. So quite obviously the biggest update on the new Q7 is what's under the hood, the petrol engine. That, coupled with the subtle changes on the outside and all the features we've spoken about in the cabin, makes the new Q7 quite a worthy Q addition in its latest form. For those who already have a Q5, this can be a really worthy upgrade and perhaps a more affordable alternative to the Q8 as well. What do you make of this latest SUV from the Audi brand, and will you get this car home in 2022? Let us know, but for now that's all that we have in this episode.